Episode 444 of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. We'll be talking about tonight's new episode of WWE NXT featuring an appearance from the Judgment Day, and tonight's new episode of Dark Side of the Ring featuring Adrian Adonis. Right here, right now, 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Hello, wrestling fanatics. Welcome to tonight's episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. I am your host, Lance Brock, as always. And on this Tuesday night episode, we're going to be talking about tonight's WWE NXT and the new episode of Dark Side of the Ring. But let's get started first. Talking some NXT, and this is just going to be a quick recap, but still a recap. And tonight's NXT is live from the Capitol Wrestling Center, also known as the WWE Performance Center. Our commentators tonight, Vic Joseph and Booker T, and Chase U, Andre Chase and Duke Hudson with Thea Hall in their corner defeat Drew Gulak and Charlie Dempsey. Cora Jade defeats Kalani Jordan, and she goes for an attack after the match, and then Dana Brooke makes the save. And Tiffany Stratton defeats Ivy Nile. Eli Dragunov defeated Braun Breaker to become the new number one contender for the NXT Championship to face Carmelo Hayes. And Channing Lorenzo defeated Joe Coffey. And I'm drawing a blank for some reason. What's his face? He's out of jail. I can't remember his name, but I know I've been following this storyline a little bit, but kind of hard to have any interest in it since it's NXT, but I've been trying to, but that one guy that's in jail, well, now I guess he's out because this guy Lorenzo here beat Joe Coffey. And I usually try not to be too negative, but not a big fan of this storyline. And the Judgment Day, Damian Priest and Finn Balor defeat Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams in the main event, with some help from Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley. Well, actually, some accidental help as well from Dragunov, who came out and got involved and ended up costing Carmelo Hayes. So that's probably going to set up for their feud over the NXT Championship at the Great American Bash, July 29th. Also, on this show tonight, we found out that Dominic Mysterio will face Desmond Xavier for the NXT North American Championship. Or, not, well, he used to be Desmond Xavier, but, what's his name now? Wesley. Wesley, the former Desmond Xavier, he's going to be defending the NXT North American Championship against Dirty Dominic Mysterio. And that was tonight's NXT. When I say it was really anything real great, I did enjoy the stuff with the Judgment Day, though. That was probably the one bright spot, but not going to talk too much about the rest because I usually try not to be too negative, but NXT definitely not, in my opinion, definitely not the best pro wrestling show on TV right now. I wouldn't say it's all too great. But like I said, I don't want to be one of those wrestling fans that just go online and complain about everything. And now we go on over to Vice for tonight's new episode of Dark Side of the Ring. Adrian Adonis was featured tonight. I thought this one overall was another pretty good episode. And he is definitely well known, but I don't know if this will continue the streak of the ratings. Who knows? Maybe it will. I might be wrong. But definitely a good one here. Some of the names interviewed are actually Ricky Johnson, the Uncle The Rock, brother of Rocky Johnson, and Bret Hart was interviewed, Jumping Jim Brunzell, and I'd say overall an interesting episode of it, and also is a good friend of his. So overall, I'd say very good episode, and not sure right now which one is airing next week, but so far this season all the episodes have been pretty good. I'll get to go back a little bit now. Dan Spivey was another one that was interviewed, and interesting story about how they didn't get along very well, and Spivey kind of snapped and lost it in a match and ended up changing the finish and just started punching Adonis, but they did end up patching things up and burying the hatchet. Spivey mentioned that, and then unfortunately is passing in a car accident, which 4 of them in a car and only 1 survived. And then unfortunately there were 2, I think they said undercard wrestlers that robbed him, took his money and things after he already died. That's terrible. And I recommend this episode if you haven't seen it yet. And like I said, not sure which one's going to be on next week, but hope to have another episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic next Tuesday night with NXT and Dark Side of the Ring recap. And that's all for tonight's episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. Hope everyone had a great Tuesday. Hope to have more new episodes of 360 Wrestling Fanatic coming up the rest of the week. Also, we'll be back tomorrow for the Wednesday episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans, where I will preview tomorrow night's episode of AEW Dynamite. Once again, as always, if you have any questions, comments, or if you want to leave feedback on tonight's NXT or Dark Side of the Ring, or both, you can in the comment section, whether you listen to on Spreaker or YouTube or whichever podcast app or podcast website you listen to on. If they have a comment section, leave your feedback there. If you have a company or a business or anything you would like to advertise with 360 Wrestling Podcasts, you can. I'll try to do a good ad for you. Hopefully not to mess it up too badly. Email me 360wrestlingpodcasts@gmail.com. Hopefully we can work something out. And once again, thank you for listening. And we'll be back tomorrow morning for GMWF. But until then, I am Lance, and I am a wrestling fanatic.